how's it going? Ooh. I haven't done a water walk video in quite a long time. I wasn't going to today, but I brought my phone. I'll bring my phone anyway, just because, emergencies and stuff. Oops, where did my lid go? There it is. But I brought it anyway, just in case, kind of, right? And then I started walking up the road. When I walk to get the water, it's half road, the village road, which is quite narrow. I mean, 2 cars can go on it, but it's pretty tight. So I do that, and then the other half is on a forest trail, which is what I'm on right now. And ooh, what's that in there? This bottle's getting old. I wonder if I should get new ones. Anyway, so right now I'm just cleaning out the bottle. So then I saw the lights, the sun streaming through the trees like sparkling jewels, And I was thinking, it's so good to be up here. I haven't done a water walk in probably, 2 weeks, I'll bet. Because, it's over Christmas. My brother was here. My cousins were here, back and forth, blah, blah, blah. Then had to go down to Khun Thap, to Bangkok for a bit of visa stuff. So I think everything's fine. So I've been missing the forest, Yeah. So here I am back. So anyway, I was walking up the road and the sun was streaming and I was saying hello to my friends that live around here. Just drop by and say hello and continue on my way. And so by the time I got halfway up the trail, I went, I better do a video. In Bangkok, I was staying with my friend Su Chang, and that was really great. We drove around a lot. He's a very generous person, good friend. But he also got to witness my shift. Usually I'm good, like in a big city like Bangkok, I'm good for a couple of days, right? It's really exciting, super fun, all that. High energy. But then usually by the 3rd day, I start to go down. It's kind of like that movie, M. Night Shyamalan, or whatever his name is. That movie, I see dead people. That's how it feels. I started to see disaster looming, right? Anyway. Look at that marquise. Anyway. Yeah, so that started to happen. So Su Chang got to witness that a little bit. But I tried to contain myself. Not totally successfully, but it was okay. Anyway, we had some fun, and his son Alan's a wonderful singer-songwriter, and he's getting quite known here in Thailand, and he's a young fellow, and we did some recording with my new guitar. That's actually my first guitar I brought with me just for show and tell. So that was fun, although, I'm just like, not in recording mode, right? Because I'm mostly building, I'm not really playing much. So I'm kind of like, I don't know, like at 20%, I'd say, in terms of skill right now. Anyway, but it was good to do. It was fun, at least, and I might come back later in the year and we'll do something maybe. That would be fun. Alan seemed up for that. He's got a nice little home studio set up and some nice mics and everything. Anyway, it was great fun. And, I got to meet Su Chang's niece, Palita, who's there. She and her family are going to come up. Actually, it's not her niece, it's his good friend's daughter, but might as well be her niece, Actually, she calls her, I think she calls Su Chang Lung Su. Anyway, Uncle Su. Yeah, so, hey, that's that. Hey, so I start to well, anyway, I always feel better in a more natural environment, obviously, if you know me at all. And so it's great to be back here. And it smells good. The sounds, of course. I'm at home, I'm very active, right? I mean, I'm not always running around the forest, especially since I'm doing a lot of guitar building. But I'm always up and down, and I sit on the floor, and I get up, and I move around and do things, right? So being away, like in the city, is more stationary, and so that's tricky for me a little bit, body-wise. So I'm a little bit stiff not stiff from moving around, more stiff from sitting around. Anyway, but I'm back to normal now, and I saw Pisu Tom on the way up, and her son, and some other people. It's great. And here I am getting water. My blessed ritual, as my friend David would say. Oh, Catherine, that's your blessed ritual. It is indeed. What else? Haven't really been doing much posting or videos or anything on the sort of climate environmental front for a while. For a couple of reasons. Although I did find someone on Facebook posted an article in The Guardian about insect declining insect populations. Which is, you know, of course we've known about that for a while, anyone who's been paying attention, right? The classic one is, oh yeah, when we were kids, you'd go driving for an hour in the countryside and the car would be completely covered in insects, you know, in rural Canada. And like now you go out and nothing. Well, you know, some people think, oh, it's because the cars are more streamlined. Oh yeah, that's it. I mean, they are more streamlined, but yeah, I don't know. Like, do you remember that? Like the grill, like whatever you call the front part, kind of like a grill, would just be like layered with insects. You know, that's where the radiator, I guess, sits. Do cars even have radiators anymore? They must have, eh? Oh, look, I'm almost full. So we'll fill a bit of this. Top it up. Okay. And we'll put the cap on. Then we'll have a nice drink. And give a little bit back. Okay, yes. Wow. How many minutes are we at? 8 minutes. 8 minutes to fill my 2 water jugs. Well, the water flow is pretty high right now. Sometimes it goes so slowly. It can take me 20, 30 minutes. That first year was... Anyway, it's been pretty wet. What else? Oh, I have to pee. Maybe what I'll do is I'll cut the video, pee, pack up, and do some video as I walk. But let me think if there's anything else I need to say. Nothing needs to be said, right? But what else? Oh yeah, I read there was some article. Oh, my friend Kate posted that. Anyway, about we can still keep the temperatures down to 1.5 if we eliminate all fossil fuel use. Sure, okay, do it. You see, here's the thing, you almost never hear saying we need to completely change it probably doesn't need to be a massive change, but we need to shift our perspectives and our place on the planet, right? You really never hear that. Essentially, never, right? You hear it from outliers, like, not outliers, but, you know, people like, you know, like Guy McPherson, Kevin Hester, and that whole crew, you know. But most people really think you can keep the same structure and just get rid of fossil fuels and slap up a bunch of solar panels. I mean, I'm not going to diss all the solar panels and windmills and stuff, right? It can be part of the picture, I think, but it can't be the answer. We'll just switch to that, and then everything's the same. It's just impossible. And there's too many other too many other layers of stuff going on, right? Like in terms of habitat destruction. See, it's not just climate that's going on, right? Although it's a major, huge part of it, of course. Waste. The plastics is a big thing. Well, it's great. Even here in Thailand, they're starting to make it so that it's bring your own bag stuff, which is great. I love that. And I usually try to bring my own bags all the time if I'm shopping somewhere. But, it's a shift in perspectives of our place in the land, right? To me, that's important. Now, maybe those little things can help move us. That's totally possible, and great if it does, but hard to say if it really will. Yeah. So, anyway, that's that, I guess. We'll see what happens, right? Basically, it's all gonna fold tomorrow, but tomorrow is a long time, right? Speaking in terms of climate, and we're not speaking geologically here, but almost, like if things really start, because I think any sort of ecological type collapse will be non-linear. I expect. Who knows? But that's my thinking is those things tend to just go poof, right? So, if it happens tomorrow, then it's tomorrow. If it happens in 40 years, it's still tomorrow in the context of, climate shifts and all that, I would say. So, I guess we'll see. Anyway, yeah. But for now, I'm going to be quiet for a minute. You can hear the birds and insects. There's this thing, Ernest Thompson Seton. There's this thing they say called Seton sitting, which is more of an old time kind of phrase, I think. Where you go somewhere in nature and just sit quietly. At first, there's not tons of sound, but the more you're just sitting and being still, the more the birds and insects and animals around you start to go, okay, everything's fine, and then they get back to calling out and singing and all that. Anyway, I guess that's, hopefully you got a bit of some of that sound coming through. Okay, so I'm gonna take a break, just pack everything up, and I'll do a bit of walking. Okay, we're ready to go. So maybe I'll do a few talking, and then I'll switch it around, to the forest. I mean, one of the other great things about being back is I can get back focused on my beloved guitar making, another blessed ritual. I've been sort of working on this guitar I'm working on now throughout the last month, but it's been a bit piecemeal, you know. It's not really the way to do it, I don't think, for me anyway. I made a few mistakes, well, a few little, I don't know if mistakes is quite the right word, but a few little glitches in the Matrix happened. Ooh, Matrix reference. Geekland. Yeah, nothing disastrous. I mean, there's always something happening, right? There's always something like, oh, I gotta, fix that. So it doesn't really, I don't think there's anything major. Oh, except it had a crack in the top. That's actually pretty major, potentially. I glued it back up. I think it's gonna be fine. Feels very strong. It sounds great. No rattling or anything. But for sure, when I sell this instrument, I'll have to mention. I mean, if the person isn't blind, they're going to be able to see this crack because it's not really hidden. Anyway, but that's fine. It sounds good. But I'm even tempted just to keep it myself because it's kind of an experimental guitar, right? Like I'm using a Thai wood called Madang, super hard wood. I guess similar enough to rosewood, but it's not a rosewood. It's a different species. But we'll see how it sounds. I think it might be good, but anyway, we'll see. Better to sell them if I can, then I can continue on. I'm pretty excited to get on with these Canadian Cypress guitars coming up, so we'll see. It makes me think about if I'm going to be away, like just a few days here and there to work on stuff. I'm not sure, but it might be better just to wait till I have a stretch of time. But then it's really difficult not, because I love working on them so much. Anyway, whatever. Now I'm just babbling. So yeah, anyway, here we are. Forest. You can see the backward view. As if you're sitting in the back of my pack basket. Seeing the rear view. How about we switch it? Yeah. Okay. So we're, what is it, January 20th or so, I'd say. I forgot to check my electric bill number. I'll do that on the way home. Late January. You can see there's a lot of dry leaves on the ground, but if you look at the canopy, it's still really green up here, right? But there are some trees that drop their leaves. Further down the mountain, like further on the flatland, a lot more trees drop their leaves, like the teak and all that. Up here it stays greener all year round. Anyways, perfect weather. This is the perfect time of year. I think this morning might have been 12 degrees or so, and probably gets up to 22 or 23. Can't beat it. Actually, can't beat it at all. Trail's a little bit still damp. It's drying out for sure. It's still a bit damp. Gotta be a little bit careful on roots and things. Because, step on a wet root, boom, down you go. Little stream down there. That's basically the stream that I was sitting beside. Get my water. I was thinking earlier, when I was packing up, I was going, wow, it's a good day to be alive. It's good to be alive. Talk about privilege, eh? There you go. Get to be alive in this beautiful world. As under pressure and stress as it is, still an incredibly beautiful, beautiful world. And nature is probably, no doubt, doing its best to try to counter all the crap going on. We'll see if she can do it. There's the sky. Look at that blue. Choma. Yeah. Oh, the other thing, the other great line I love is, "It's a good day to die." Also, that it's very samurai, but actually, it's from Chief Jan George's character in Little Big Man. It says, "It's a good day to die." One of my favorite quotes of all time from a movie. And then Dustin Hoffman's character later, just when he's gonna fight with them, and Little Bighorn says, "Grandfather," because I guess there's a question whether he should fight with them, because he'd been bouncing back and forth between the American military and the Cheyenne, I think he was with. And he says, "Grandfather, it is a good day to die." And then, if I'm remembering it correctly, and then Chief Dan George's character goes, "My heart soars like a hawk." Oh, there you go, eh? Beautiful. Not too sure what's on the picture here. I'm just down this. It's a little bit steep here, so I have to be a little bit careful picking my way down. Because, as I said, it's a little slippery still. Oh, you see the stream down there? Beautiful. It's a good day to die. Probably with that guitar where I got a crack on the top, I'll probably, even if I do end up wanting to sell it, I'll probably hang on to it for a couple of months and play it in different humidity levels and just make sure that it's stable, Should be fine, but you never know. I was done. I was trying something. Here, let's flip it. You can see my dumbass. Yeah, you can see my dumbass expression. Yeah, so here's my problem, right? Every now and then, people go, because I do a lot of things, right? And I know that I'm good at certain things, right? I can kind of make anything if I have put my mind to it. I can't do anything if I don't want to, right? That's sort of my issue. Like, if someone says, "Oh, do this," I'm sure I could do it, but if I'm not drawn in, then it'll just be not very good. Yeah, so people say, "Why aren't you rich?" I go, "I don't know," but I do know, because it's very difficult for me to do the same thing over and over again. So, as Jordan Peterson says, if it's not scalable, it's hard to make money on things, right? And he's right on that. So guitar making scalable if you do a factory, or high end like Taylors and Martins and all that. I'm sure they all make a pretty good living, but it's high quality, but also factory setup, right? So it's a different story altogether. Okay, now that I mentioned Jordan Peterson, well, I haven't been getting as much flack about my appreciation of his stuff. It's not across the board, but that's beside the point. And that is, he talks about climate change. A lot of people have posted things about his comments on climate change, like calling him a climate change denier. I think that's a bit of a stretch, First of all, if you're going to Jordan Peterson for climate information, you're going to the wrong place. He's not a climatologist, and I'm sure he would be more than happy to say that, right? So everything he says is his own opinion, which is basically the case with most people. But here, anyway, so I disagree on my feelings about how things are going, or my feelings, using that. Anyway, whatever. But one thing he does mention, I completely agree with, and that is that ideologies are spinning into the climate debate, and that's not helpful. You know, it's not helpful. Because to my mind, the situation is too serious to make it ideological, right? I mean, gee, I don't even know if you can hear me here. It's kind of noisy. This is runoff from the, hang on a sec, runoff from that, which is like a big water collector that all the little streams, they kind of divert some water into, and then it goes into water to the houses. All gravity fed, no pumps needed. Yeah, okay, so ideology is connected to climate. It's not helpful, you know? Because people start going on about climate, but it's an ideological position, and there's no basis in anything factual in a lot of cases, right? It's more like you have to say these words or you're not part of our group kind of crap, which is absolutely ridiculous, because you need to have your eyes wide open with this stuff, right? I think we're in a dire situation, but, you know, we'll see, right? So when someone like Guy McPherson says, oh, we're on the edge of the precipice, I do not disagree with him. First of all, I respect his background as a conservation, what is he? Conservation biologist, maybe? No. Anyway, whatever, it doesn't matter. His background is very deep and knowledgeable, so he's seen things that you need to listen to, right? But at the same time, there's that time scale aspect that I mentioned earlier. So, yeah, I don't know. But anyway, I can't help but thinking if the sort of ideological aspect keeps taking such a prominent position in the debate, then we're completely screwed, right? Because right now the ideological position is we just get rid of fossil fuels and we can make everything fine, which connects to the great John A. Livingston, my greatest hero of all, I think. But greatly admired, now deceased, died in 2005. He's, oh geez, that was an insect. Anyway, I think it was, or a stick. Anyway, yeah, he's the guy that did the Hinterland Who's Who videos. If you're old enough, you'll remember those. Great videos. Yeah, so in Canada. Anyway, and also he was one of the early in the 60s was heavily involved with nature things on CBC. Anyway, but in one talk he did with Ideas back in the 90s, he said the environmental movement is primarily made up, in his opinion, of those that want to keep everything the same but still get away with it, right? And to my view, nothing has changed on that. And that's where you get into the ideological aspects, you know. It's very, very, very dangerous, I think. But, you know, we're human. Can't really say don't do it. It's just how we do things a lot of times. So, I'm still talking. Usually I stop talking here. Maybe I'll take it right down to the roadway. Anyway. So, yeah, that's where I would agree with Peterson on climate issues, right? And the other thing is, when a few people have, done that bit of a hit thing about some article was out there about being a climate denier and all that. But, so I mentioned that, about the ideological aspect he mentions, but I also throw in a link of, he was talking about the destruction of the oceans at some talk, like, maybe 3 or 4 years ago. And, damn. It was one of the best talks about, the current destruction of ocean life due to overfishing and damaging fishing practices. It's very powerful, and his description of the fecundity of past years, let's say decades and centuries. Like the early days when Europeans started coming here. I mean, other people have spoken of it really well too, including Derek Jensen. And others, of course. And you can do your own research and find lots of anecdotes of that time. But his own description I felt very powerful, you know, very, very strong. And so that's usually what I throw in there. I mean, I think in that talk he's also wrapping it around his general perceptions of, you know, identity and ideologies and all that, right? And so, you know, some people may not like it because of that, but if you listen to the actual words, you know, listen to the actual point of his talk, it's really strong, I would say. Anyway, here we are. Look at this. I'm on. This is like a little driveway. When I first started coming up here, this was just a little trail, and the bridge, the ramp that'll go up was a little thing made with bamboo, like 1.5 feet wide. สวัสดีค่ะสวัสดีไหมค่ะดีฉันทำเองถ่ายรูปโน้นทำวิดีโอใช่ฉันชอบไปดุนบ้าใช่ไหมทำวิดีโอแต่สวยธรรมชาติสวยมากใช่ไหมอันนี้โอ้ไม่เป็นไรอิ่มแล้วค่ะ
อิ่มแล้วเหรอ
ใช่กินแล้วค่ะอากาศดีใช่ไหมโอเคขอบคุณค่ะขอบคุณค่ะอันคุณสบายดีไหมคะ
สบายดีค่ะแล้วคุณแค่สบายดีไหม
สบายดีขอบคุณค่ะใช่โอเคขอบคุณค่ะแล้วพบกันใหม่โชคดีนะคะบ๊ายบายขอให้มีความสนุกวันนี้นะคะสวัสดีค่ะสบายดีไหมค่ะ
สบายดีไหมสบายดี
อ๋อ
คุณแค่ไปเอาน้ำนะหนักมาก
ใช่เอาน้ำใช่แต่วันนี้อากาศดีใช่ไหมชอบมากโอเคบายบายโชคดี Okay, so that was some neighbors. They live just down here, like in that house right there. And I guess this isn't their place. It's like a homestay, but my other next door neighbors run that one. But I guess they take care of it because he's kind of old and not here all the time. Yeah, so that's it. Maybe this is a good time to check out. You can see the beautiful sky, the hills. I better go on a ridge walk soon, so up this ridge here. You can't really see the ridge because the trees are blocking it, but it's quite high, and I'll be doing that. And you can see this place is up, quite high up. So beautiful. Yeah, look at this. They built this. The people I just showed you, really beautiful. Yeah. Anyway, let's flip it. Yeah. Okay. So anyway, it was a bit of a longer video, I guess, today, and hopefully I'll have a look, but I'll put it up probably. And I don't usually edit it or anything like that. It's cinema verite. Anyway, so hope everyone's doing great, and thanks for watching this no doubt long piece of video brilliance. Oh, look at this. This is a good thing to end on. Okay, there's a route here. Yeah. But they built this wall, right? It's a retaining wall because the soil will just fall. But they left this space for the root to grow. Amazing. Okay, well, take care everyone, and hope everyone's having a great day.